George, great news. We're here to talk about a new long-term deal at the club. But first, how's your summer been?
Yeah, good. Nice to get away. Obviously, nice chance to relax after what was a tough season for everyone involved with Ipswich. So, yeah, it was nice to, like I say, get away, spent a little bit of time on holiday, and just enjoyed the weather down here for a little bit. To be honest, obviously had the Scotland camp, which went really well. So, yeah, it was a nice time to sort of reset and get ready for the next season.
Yeah, before you're back at training, some great news, a new long-term contract. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, buzzing. I've enjoyed every single day I've been down here. Since I first came down here on loan. What was it, 2.5 years ago now? I think we've achieved a hell of a lot as a team, as a group, as a club, and to be a part of that going forward and hopefully achieve even more is something really, really exciting.
Yeah, what are the big considerations that go into signing a contract for a player when this is a potential option for you? What are you thinking about and what are you considering?
I think first and foremost, somewhere that myself, family, everyone's happy. I know my partner loves it down here. My two dogs love it down here. So I consulted all three of them and made sure that they were happy to stay. So yeah, I think that's probably the main thing is I've always been someone who wants to be somewhere where they feel valued and feel wanted, and that's why I've left clubs in the past. So yeah, it's a case of being here is all I wanted to do. Like I say, I couldn't have enjoyed the last 2.5 years anymore, and yeah, to sign for another 4 years is really exciting for myself. Yeah,
you've crammed a lot into those 2.5 years, haven't you? It's been quite a journey for you and the club in that time.
Yeah, it's mad if you think about it, to be honest. If you'd have told me the sort of trajectory we'd have been on when I first signed on loan, I'd have probably not really believed you. To get back-to-back promotions, to then have the first season in the Premier League in however many years it was, is massive for the club. To see all the sort of change, at the stadium, at the training ground, everything that's going on with the club, and building that from when I first signed has been mad, really. So yeah, like I say, it's something that I'm really excited about. I think it's something that the fans should definitely be excited about. And yeah, just delighted that I can continue with that.
Yeah, and lots of milestones as well. Obviously, a couple of promotions in there. Rewind to the first game of the Championship season, that goal at the Stadium of Light, a first Premier League goal at Brentford. You've ticked off a lot of career milestones in that time.
Without a doubt, I think that was one thing for me that's, I look back on the last 2.5 years with nothing but pride, really. It's, like you say, to get promoted from League One and then going into the Championship, and people will probably Wikipedia my time at Rotherham and Blackburn and sort of make assumptions. So to get that goal on the first day was massive for me, and to sort of prove to a few people that I can do that and I can score that level, and obviously kicked on that season and ended up with the promotion. And then for me, it's it's like probably like anybody who's in my position, to play in the Premier League as a striker, to score in the Premier League is something that you dream of as a kid, and to be able to say that I've sort of accomplished both those things in the last season. Would I like to go and do it again next season? Yeah, obviously, but that's not where we are right now, and that's where we're trying to get back to. So yeah, there's plenty of accomplishments that have been ticked off, and I think there'll be plenty more to tick off again going forward. Yeah,
an important one in there as well. Obviously, a first international cap, and more recently, a first international goal as well. That must have been a real proud moment for you over the summer.
Yeah, for sure. To get that call to play for Scotland, first and foremost, was a massive honour for me personally. Like you say, as a striker, I'm going to be judged on my goals, and so to get that sort of the monkey off the back of the longer that goes on without scoring as a striker, people are going to start talking, and you can start trying too hard. So to get that goal in the last meet-up was massive for me. That's something that I will always be so proud of. Hopefully it's not my last goal for Scotland. Hopefully there'll be many more than that. But I can sit there with my head held high, knowing that yeah, I've played at that level and scored at that level, and like I say, hopefully there's much more of that to come.
Yeah, you must feel as well that over that 2.5 year period you've made some real improvements in your game as well, with working with the coaches here and with your teammates.
For sure. I think if you look back to the player that I was when I signed 2.5 years ago to the player I am now, I know I can look back and I sort of feel like it's a little bit unrecognisable in the sense of the things that I feel like I've improved on. The way that I know my own game nowadays compared to sort of 2.5 years ago, and 2.5 years in football is a long time. It doesn't sound that, and it doesn't always feel like that when you're playing in it all the time. But yeah, for me, there's been a lot of growth personally on the pitch, off the pitch, and I think that's something that going forward is only going to improve. You know, I feel I'm probably one of the more experienced players in the change room nowadays. It's quite a nice role to have. And yeah, that's something that I sort of thrive on now, and something that I really want to kick on with.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Obviously, it's a fairly young squad, but they're obviously players in there with international experience, and you're one of those now. That comes with a bit of responsibility, doesn't it?
Of course, I think, you know, if you're doing well, then the responsibility is going to fall on your shoulders. And yeah, we've got a somewhat young squad, but we've got a squad of players who, you know, especially at championship level, are incredibly good players. We've got a lot of players who have got really sensible heads on the shoulders, you know, who when that responsibility falls on them, then great. So yeah, for me, it's about what I can bring to the squad, and if part of my role is, you know, being a bit more of a leader and sort of carrying the weight on my shoulders a little bit more, then I'm absolutely fine with that.
Yeah. How are you feeling about the season ahead? It's a little while away yet. You've got pre-season to get through first, but how are you feeling about the season to come?
Yeah, can't wait. Obviously, I got back from Scotland probably 2.5 weeks ago, so it's been a bit of a shorter break. But to be honest, just raring to go. It's a league that we know well. We've got previous great memories in, and it's a league that we want to go and sort of, you know, take by storm again. And I think there will be a little bit more expectation on us this season, and rightly so. I think if there wasn't, then everyone would be questioning why. I think it's, you know, a privilege to be in that position where, you know, people start to get a little bit expectant of what you can do as a team. So yeah, for me it's exciting, and I'm sure if we do the right work every single day with the boss, with the coaches, like we have done for the last 2.5 years, then we'll get to the end of the season and we'll get the just rewards.
What's your attitude to pre-season? Do you like the running, or can you live without that side of it?
I mean, a big part of my game is the running. I think the majority of Ipswich fans would tell you that, you know, I'm a pretty good presser, and I like to get after people and, you know, make it uncomfortable for centre half. So that'll be something going forward that's definitely not going to change. So yeah, for me the running is part and parcel. I don't think anybody enjoys it as such, but you know, when you get to that first game of the season and you feel good, you feel fresh, you feel fit, then you understand that it's all part of the process.
Well, George, congratulations, and thank you for talking to us.
Thank you.